And why is manufacturing down? Because the cost of energy is high.
Very high.
It's one of the components.
Very high. All right, gentlemen, let's move straight to our next conversation. Transparency in election rules breeds trust. And for voters in Osun State, the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, is making sure their votes count. INEC has released the timetable and guidelines for the 2026 governorship elections in the state, scheduled for the 8th of August 2026. At a stakeholders' engagement in Oshogbo, INEC Resident Electoral Commissioner in the state, Mutiu Agboke, reaffirms that every eligible vote will matter, urging citizens to collect their permanent voter cards while emphasizing the no PVC, no vote directive. Now let's share the story by TVC News Rafiu Hamid with you.
Seated in this auditorium are major stakeholders in the electioneering process, including security operatives, civil society organizations, the media, persons with disabilities, religious leaders, among others. The gathering provided the Resident Electoral Commission an opportunity to outline plans ahead of the continuous voter registration exercise scheduled to begin next Monday, as well as next year's governorship polls.
Going by the timetable released by the headquarters of the Commission, the conduct of the party primaries, including resolution of disputes arising from the primary, will start on the 24th day of November 2025 and end on the 15th day of December 2025.
The stakeholders assure INEC of cooperation to ensure the success of the CVR.
Your security is guaranteed. I can assure you of that. And as the DC operation will be physically on the ground.
Take this advocacy to the remotest part of this state, that everybody that are qualified to register will do so.
Concerns were also raised about the late-night voting in Ede during the 2022 governorship election.
You would all agree with me that the last election we had in Osun ran into mid of the night. We have election from the side of Ede, trunking in at the middle, 11, 12 a.m. So that is why I was eager to ask the REC what is going to happen this time around. And they have told us that the election will close by 2:30. And I'm happy that the media and the general public are also there. We all listened to him. That once it is 2:30, a police officer and APO2 would go and stand behind the last person on the queue.
In response, Mutiu Agboke stressed that the Commission will not tolerate any manipulation of the electoral process.
INEC is going to be fair. The election is going to be free. We will leverage on the support of all other members, all other major stakeholders to deliver the process. INEC alone cannot do it.
The event also featured the presentation of the notice of election to all political party chairmen in the state and other stakeholders. Rafiu Hamid, TVC News, Oshogbo.
All right, thank you, Rafiu Hamid. Mayor, INEC has released guidelines, for the 2026 governorship elections in Osun State. But in your opinion, has INEC demonstrated readiness and transparency? The election is coming up on the 8th of August next year.
This is not a guarantee that INEC is ready. Or they are showing transparency. It's not a guarantee. What I'm saying is that this is just the beginning of a process. What they've just done is to start a process, which is a normal thing. Stakeholders meeting, releasing guidelines and all that. Those are taken. It's things that they should do and things that they all normally do. What I expect from INEC is that we should have an election that all of us can be proud of. Because this is an off-season election, it should not be difficult to be able to organize a proper, good election.
Sure.
Because, yes, they may have challenges when they are doing national election, they are doing it all over the country, but these are off-season, they are just concentrating on the state.
Exactly.
So they can do it well. Make sure that everything is done. No PVC, you cannot be allowed to vote.
The issue of logistics.
The issue of logistics. The issue of IREV and all that, they must be able to now make sure they get it right so that whoever emerges as the as being elected will be accepted by everybody as the people's choice. I hope that, because it's a part of the problem that I have with INEC is that they don't seem to learn from their mistakes. So in every election cycle, the same kind of things happen again. Lateness of materials to polling booths, mix up in places, lateness in declaration of results. You know, we've seen it time and time again. And what I believe is that if you do something repeatedly, you are supposed to master it. Exactly. You are supposed to, because you are used to it, you do it all the time. So what I expect is not just, yes, it's good that they've started the process, but they should see the process through, and that at the end of the day, they should make sure that they undo all the necessary things so that everybody will accept the results of that election.
Beautiful one. But I'm going to be coming to you pretty soon, but we need to go on this quick break. And when we return, the conversation continues. Don't go away. It's still Journalist Hangout.
And answer that.
You said the things that needs to be done. But talk to me, what are the concrete measures that INEC needs to put in place, you know, as they prepare for the election in 2026 in Osun State?
There's really nothing concrete. The process is there. It's just for us to ensure that, like I've said, these processes are strictly guarded and guided.
But what can they do to make it different from the usual?
Yes, it's just to do what they are supposed to do.
Adhere to the rules.
You know that you need to move materials from this location to the other one.
Okay.
If you are supposed to use 10 vehicles, whether you use extra 5 or not, put them on standby.
Correct.
So that when one breaks down that morning, because these are human...
Well, you know they work with NURTW.
That's what we're saying.
Yes.
But when you are paying...
Will you blame INEC for that?
Yeah, we are going to. Because when you are paying NURTW, you are paying them for strictly 10 vehicles. Okay. And they bring the 10 to you. They are working the day before. Something happens on the road. One breaks down. Where do you start mobilizing that day if you don't have standby? They are minor things. You must have your backup. You must. And like I said, this is an off cycle. There will be enough security to ensure all of this is done. But INEC must also ensure that, like people have been saying, play by the rules. So you guide and guard the process. Don't let politicians hijack it from you. Because that's what happens at the end of the day. When you leave things unguarded, unguided. People go to the polling unit, they put out their own results before you. When you, as the electoral umpire, you are supposed to be announcing the
immediately
results
from the polling.
From that unit. Once you don't do it, you have lost control of that process. Look, they are small things, but when we do them efficiently, they work. That's what is happening in other places. That's why we are ailing them. There is no magic to it. It's a matter of, I've come to cast my votes. 1, 2, 3. Let it go out immediately.
Okay.
Let it not be shrouded in, we are trying to, no, that's not elections.
Now, the other part of this is voter apathy. It's also the other giants in the room. Now, historically, elections in Nigeria, it records low voter turnout. But what can be done to ensure, like, improved civic participation?
I think I will look at it from 3 prisms. One, a lot of the data, or a lot of the data that we rely on to say that this is the number of voters that we have is not really accurate.
Oh,
yes,
not accurate.
Politicians mobilize people to load voters register.
Oh, okay.
You understand?
Okay.
They load voters register to be able to rig or manipulate election. You understand?
Okay.
In fact, within the political circle, there's a balance called ECOMOG, which is moving voters from one point to the other to be able to vote. So at the end of the day, the number of voters that you have on the register will not be the real figure that you have. Okay. That is one. Another reason is that there is not enough mobilization by political parties.
Oh, the political parties too.
In other climes, you are supposed to get your voters, you are supposed to get your supporters to the polling units.
Okay.
You must be able to mobilize them. There are people who do door-to-door canvassing.
Yes.
There are people who call on the phone to remind you to go and vote and all that. Exactly. Our own political parties don't do that. They don't do that. They just go around, campaign. When they campaign and talk to their supporters and to the people, they expect them to come and vote. But it would have been better if they mobilize them.
Yes.
Try to put a structure in place where you can get in touch with voters, especially your supporters, to be able to bring them to vote.
But you're not looking at it from...
The third one...
Okay, the third?
The third one is voters apathy among the younger voters. Most times, they don't... All over the world, it is now that it's changing. Most times, young voters don't really care about election.
They don't care about who wins.
They don't care about the process. They prefer on the election day to go to the street corner and be playing football. So it is important for us to be able to reach out to them and let them know that their vote counts and that they can influence the process.
But you're not looking at it from the trust deficit, you know, from the people about the process.
That's part of it.
Do they even trust
That
INEC?
is part of it. If people, because that's another problem. Because people have this belief that their votes won't count.
Oh, we already know who.
No, they are going to rig it anyway. You understand what I'm saying? So because of that, that is why people will go to polling unit and want to collect money to vote. For that person, is not interested in who wins.
Let me just get
me get my own share now before the election. That's when they will take rights to them and take things to them.
The ones they call
and they want to take it. And they want to take it because they don't believe in the process. They believe that the outcome is decided anyway, so why should I bother myself? And that's one of the reasons why some people will not go out, or they will believe that it's decided. Another problem is our elites. Our elites are not involved as much as they should.
Okay.
Because you see that when election is coming, a lot of people will travel abroad and will not be around when there is election. So all those factors contribute to things like that.
All right, straight to our final conversation.